It is another beautiful day for racing here in the 2000 NASCAR Winston Cup Series season, as there's only 6 races remaining in the fight for the championship. And on Labor Day weekend, the Winston Cup Series drivers head to the Darlington Raceway in South Carolina. This is the Southern 500, a long-standing tradition in the NASCAR Winston Cup Series, and it's back once again in the 2000 season, and it's a big turning point possibly in the fight for the championship, as Keegan Thompson and Trey Bardo are separated by 33 points, but they are on opposite ends of the field in terms of starting positions. We'll talk a little bit more about that a little bit later on in this pre-race segment. On the front row, Justin Zaidel and Chris Jericho for another time this season. Last time they started on the front row, they finished right there with Zaidel winning the race in the 24 car. That was at Bristol, where he dominated, leading every lap en route to victory lane there. It is a beautiful day for racing here in the Southern 500 at Darlington. 78 degrees with clear skies. There are some clouds, but mostly sunny here at Darlington. It is a bit windy out, 7 miles an hour westward direction. However, that's nothing that these fans and drivers can't handle for sure, and no chance of rain here at Darlington. We're good to go to the checker flag in this long, long race here at Darlington. It is a fun racetrack, a unique racetrack here in Darlington, South Carolina, and that's where you see many of the big storylines come from, and how big the qualifying was, with many different teams starting well here today. You obviously have the Hendrick cars up towards the front, all 3 starting inside the top 7. You had the Joe Gibbs Racing cars start well, but how about Jasper Motorsports and Sergio Aguita starting in the 3rd place here in that 77? Laura Chung for Bill Davis Racing starts in 5th. Roger Ray for Andy Peach Racing in 6th. You have Anthony Hernandez with DEI in 8th. How about back in 10th, Nathan Baird for Joe Bessie Racing. Aaron Reed starts 11th for Team Sabco. The high-starring RCR car is 13th, that's Conrad Evans. And in the thick of all that, championship points leader Keegan Thompson starts in 4th place. While it is the outside lane, still a very good starting spot, and a lot better than his championship rival Trey Bardo. 2 cars failed post-qualifying inspection, and they were 2 big-name drivers. Mathis Wells, who was set to start 4th in this race, and Trey Bardo, who was set to start in 5th. Both failed inspection. They'll be starting back in 41st and 42nd. Bardo in 42nd, Wells in 41st. Both were set to start inside the top 5. For Bardo, was big there. He was set to start inside his championship rival, as Thompson would be on the outside, Bardo on the inside. Bardo probably saw that as an opportunity to gain spots and put spots in between he and Keegan Thompson. Now he's played catch-up. He's 33 points behind Keegan already, and might it be more leaving Darlington if Keegan has a really good race and Bardo can't get through the field and get some spots. This could be a fun one to watch, with the field very, very mixed up here at Darlington. Some track facts here for the Southern 500. The Darlington Raceway, located in Darlington, South Carolina. It's 1.366 miles in length. It's an egg-shaped oval. It's a very unique racetrack here at Darlington. A lot of different variables of banking. 25 degrees of banking in turns 1 and 2, 23 degrees of banking in turns 3 and 4. Down the front stretch, you have 3 degrees. Down the back stretch, it's 2 degrees. So a lot of different banking for the drivers to deal with here at the Darlington Raceway. Obviously, the first race here back in 1981, the track opened in 1950, one of the oldest tracks on the schedule. The past 5 winners here in the Southern 500 at Darlington. Kevin Bandon did it back in 1995. Marcus Sachi, Trey Rainey, Kevin Bandon, and Trey Rainey have all won this race in the past 5 years. Darlington used to have 2 races until 1998, when it went down to 1, just the Southern 500 here. And the laps in this race, 74 laps, one of the longest of the season, and the fuel window very interesting. It's about 30 to 35 laps, give or take a few. So that means they have to make 2 pit stops during this race. Do the drivers and teams want to split up into thirds, or will they try and push it out long and then maybe go 2 tires towards the end, because they'll have to pit with around 10 to go if they don't make that second pit stop earlier in the race. It's going to be a fun one with strategy aplenty here in the Southern 500 at Darlington. Let's go down trackside for the most famous words and motorsports. Get the action underway here at Darlington.
Drivers, start your engines.
There are the 42 cars rolling off the starting grid for the Southern 500 at Darlington, one of the big traditions of the NASCAR Winston Cup Series. Let's go back to the man starting in 13th. That's Conrad Evans. Last time we saw Evans at Talladega, he was on his lid, tumbling down the front stretch. He's all right after that scary crash. He's back in action and looking to try and gain some points back. He's over 200 points now, back of the points lead. It was nearing within a race before Talladega. What can Evans do from a top 15 spot? Can he try and pass Keegan and Bardo to get some points on those two? We're going to find out here in 74 laps. Also go up to the man starting just outside the top 5 in 7th place. That's Brett Sierra. After his good Talladega race, he's now 10 points behind teammate Justin Zeidel for 3rd in points, but more importantly, only 186 points back of the points lead. If he can gain points on both his teammate Keegan Thompson and Trey Bardo today, he can be back in the championship fight after falling out of it just a few races ago. And with just 6 races remaining, it's going to get intense here in the NASCAR Winston Cup Series on JRTV. The front row is a common one. Justin Zeidel and Chris Jericho on the front row. It's a new face in 3rd, Sergio Guita for Jasper Motorsports, and the points leader Keegan Thompson in 4th. Laura Chung for Bill Davis Racing rounds out the top 5. Here they come to take the green flag. The Southern 500, the long race at Darlington, is underway. Green flag in the air. Going to tiptoe through 1 and 2 on this first lap as they look to get up to speed and get separated. Down the backstretch, they race into turns 3 and 4. Zeidel cleared in the lead. The battle for a second. Higuita on the inside. Jericho on the outside. Thompson already back behind his teammate Brett Sears as they race down the front stretch. Great run the outside for Jericho. Zeidel leads the first lap. They battle still for 2nd place. Higuita on the inside. Jericho on the outside. Higuita gets 2nd. Chung gets 3rd. Sears for 4th as Jericho really not great through the top of turn 1. Off the corner, you really want to try and keep it out of the wall as best you can right there. You get too wide, you could get into the wall off turn 2, cause some problems for the guys beneath you. You see Jericho and Thompson still can't find a way down in line, and they're still losing spots in that outside lane. Off 4, another place to get the wall. Jericho and Thompson do a great job not doing that. Jericho trying to clear Evans to get down in line, and he will do it. He falls back to 7th from 2nd, but Thompson's still on the outside, still fading back. Kukulon, Eli right now to his inside. DeLello start back in 19th. He's already beneath the 5 car as Thompson still struggles on the outside lane. He could fall behind DeLello right there. I think that's what he's doing. I think he lifted down the backstretch to get in behind this 43 in front of the 21. Exactly what he did. Now Thompson can try and pick them off one at a time and get some spots here as he tries to come back through a lot of the spots he lost. All right, going on DeLello right here as Higuita loses 2nd. Chung gets through. Sierra gets through. Thompson is up by DeLello for 12th. Recovery right there. Anderson Reed stepped out from 6th by Jericho. Chung has stepped out from 2nd as Jericho moves by, hit her as well. Now Matthew Burnett the next up on Chris Jericho. Remember, Jericho started 2nd, so he has a fast race car. Just fell back with the outside lane. Now making some progress with that inside lane. Trying to get by Matthew Burnett, but the outside off turn 4 really does work here. And see right there, really worked for Burnett, able to keep 4th, but at the front, Sierra got by Higuita for 2nd. Now closing in on the 24 Zeidel. But Sierra also has Higuita right up behind him as Jericho moves back up to 4th, Evans to 5th, and Nathan Baird from Joe Bessie Racing going for 6th. Anderson Reed now in line going on Matthew Burnett as well. See 2 Roush cars might be going at as Thompson's gone by Eli Bright now and Laura Chung as well. Thompson back up going for the top 10. There he goes on Kukulon for 9th place. Meanwhile, 4th and 5th trying to gap it out over the cars behind. Battle for 2nd. Higuita from Jasper Motorsports is passing the Hendrick Motorsports entry of Brett Sierra. The battle for 2nd is on it. Sergio Higuita trying to take 2nd back from Brett Sierra. In terms of the guys that start towards the back of the field, Wells up to 30th. Remember, he started in 41st. Trey Bardo up to 35th. He started back in the 42nd position. So Wells making really, really good progress at the moment. Bardo a little bit more cautious. He has a lot more to lose than Wells. Jericho flew by Sierra to get to 3rd, and Evans now for 4th on Sierra. And Nathan Baird now could break inside the top 5 as Baird will move out on Sierra through turns 3 and 4. And Anderson Reed trying to move back up closer to the front, along with Keegan Thompson, who's making some great progress after falling back on the outside on the initial start. Now Higuita moves to 2nd, but almost a full 2nd back of Zeidel. Anderson Reed moves by Brett Sierra, who's still struggling on the outside. Higuita moved aside by Jericho, who moves back up right where he started in 2nd. Very fast car early on for Chris Jericho. Evans also a fast race car, started outside the top 10 in 13th. Well, Evans is going to move up for 3rd here on Sergio Higuita, and right behind him, Nathan Baird for fourth. Two single-car teams going at it inside the top 5 at Darlington. Baird on the inside. On the outside, it's Agita. Jericho cut off about a tenth or two from that lead this last lap. Thompson got put to the outside by Collins. He fades back by the 12 and now the 25. And now the 16, 23, 6, and 8 are all lined up on the inside of Keegan Thompson. Not a good one into it all for Keegan Thompson. Really struggled right there. And now he has to maybe give up these spots and try and get them back once again. But maybe can use the outside off of turn 4 to get by Colin Teague. Again, nice run and will do it. Keegan Thompson down in line in front of Colin Teague behind Laura Chung. So crisis averted. Could have fallen a little bit further back. Now he's only back to 11th. Kind of gotten away. Eli Bright under fire for Jacob Boyd. Balance at the top 15 for 13th right here. Other cars moving forward, like Kukulon back here inside the top 15. Luke Rennie just outside the top 15. Jordan Edwards moving up nicely. Nolan Lawrence was second fastest in practice. Didn't show the qualifying pace, but here he is up inside the top 20 in the race. DeLello also inside the top 20. And the man fastest in practice, Jay Randall, just outside the top 20 as Stanworth Jr. fades back. And how about Mathis Wells? That 20 car really coming through the field. He moves by Stanworth, and he's closer to the top 20. Bardo right in the back of Brandon Beal, trying to move out on Anthony Netters, who started inside the top 10. So Trey Bardo making some good progress as well. He's inside the top 30. Wells is just outside the top 20. So these guys back here making some good progress through the field, making hay as they work their way through 3 and 4. And Jericho, every lap, cuts about a 10th off of the gap from him to Zidell. So right now, Brandon Beal and Jamie Stanworth Jr., that's the battle for 27th. Bardo now goes for 27th on Beal, moving that Bill Elliott Racing Ford aside. And Bardo and that Richard Childress Racing Chevrolet just has the power and the grip to make it work down there. And speaking of grip, Mathis Wells is flying through the field. The top 20 is in his sights. In fact, the battle in front, that's the battle for 16th. It's Jordan Edwards and Special Kukulon going at it, and Wells sees it right in front of him and wants to get going. He's trying to look on Luca Iger for another spot. Jay Randall Kukulon also ahead. Might go on Kukulon there and might be inside the top 20 as they work their way through 1 and 2. Mathis Wells is flying through the pack. He started 41st, and he could possibly be sniffing on the top 10 by the end of this race. Nathan Baird still holding steady in 4th. Really good run for that Joe Bessie Racing Chevrolet. He's moved up nicely, but for the lead, it's still tightening up as Jericho looks on Zidell and closing about 10th every lap. Wells inside the top 20, and Agita's fallen outside the top 10 to 12th position, just in front of Jacob Boyd and Colin Teague. But now here's the first battle for the lead we've had so far today. Zidell has led every lap from pole position. Jericho started second, faded back to just inside the top 10, but now as the laps click off, that 18 has come alive, and he's shown that he maybe has the fastest car on the track. He or Conrad Evans definitely have the fastest cars on the racetrack. I think Zidell may be saving some stuff, and maybe that car just not as good. As you can see, Thompson making some progress back through the field up to 9th. He and Eli Bright move around the 23 of Laura Chung. There's Mathis Wells. Still gained and got by Randall for 19th, 18th, Zachary DeLello just in front of him, and Trey Bardo to the top 25, still getting some spots, but Keegan Thompson solidly inside the top 10. Bardo has to be worried if he doesn't get a yellow or some strategy call to go his way, he might lose a good amount of points once again to Keegan Thompson, just like what happened at Talladega. Yeah, Talladega, Thompson didn't have a good run because he had some damage on the front of the car, but stayed with the draft, got in the top 25. Trey Bardo, meanwhile, was laps down slow and finished outside the top 35, so that was a big difference in points from Bardo to Thompson. The lead is tightening up. Jericho and Zidell going at it down the front straightaway to complete the 16th lap. Jericho is there on the back of Zidell as they race through 1 and 2. About a 10th separates the front two. Zidell and Jericho have battled each other so much this season. They kind of know what each other is like whenever they battle, and they've had some really, really good battles. They've finished 1-2 in a race or two this season. They know what their strengths are, what their weaknesses are, and Jericho trying to put it to the test. Normally he's the one that fades on the first run and doesn't put the pressure on for the lead in the first run, but here so far this first run, that 18 has looked the best of anyone. Maybe Conrad Evans, the only one to really keep up in terms of the lap times with the 18 of Jericho. See, Nathan Baird still holding steady in that 4th place. Aaron Reed in 5th, and Mitchell Collins up to 6th. They're doing a good job. Sierra in 7th has gotten away from the battle behind as Thompson got by Matthew Burnett for 8th, but Eli Bright wants P8 in car number 8. He was by Keegan Thompson, so Bright to 8th. Thompson back to 9th, but Thompson using the outside lane to try and get back by car number 8, but just pulls even with Eli Bright off to turn 1. Eli will get that position on the inside of turn 1. Burnett able to keep 10th from Higuita. Colin Teague, Nolan Lawrence inside the top 15 doing a nice job in 13th, but Mathis Wells is coming through the field. He's carved away up into the top 15 to 15th. 14th, Lord Chung just in front of him. Trey Bartle still stuck back in 25th. No progress made in the 3 car over the last few laps. Now, Mathis Wells has made progress is the big talking point here. That Joe Gibbs Racing entry looks just as fast as his teammate Chris Jericho at this stage in the race. Thompson and Burnett were looking like they were going to battle, but Thompson keeps 9th place for Matthew Burnett. Higuita just outside the top 10 along with Nolan Lawrence, so some really small teams doing their job at this stage in the race. There's Wells moving up even further forward, just got by Lord Chung for 14th, and there's the top 10 lined up just in front of him. Wells sees 9th place Keegan Thompson in front and is wanting to go even faster at this point. Front 2, the gap is kind of stabilized around 10th and a half to about 10th and a quarter. That's what the gap has been the last few laps. Jericho not able to close in that much more on Zidell. Nathan Baird, Harrison Reed, Mitchell Collins lined up 4th, 5th, and 6th. They're not able to make moves at all either. Mathis Wells been the one to make moves, though. He's bringing Jordan Edwards further forward as well. Luke Rennie sees his teammate running well. He wants to run well. Zachary DeLello having a good day. Laura Chung fade back. Now teammate Jay Randall on her back bumper. Roger Raystar Wellbuzz fade back. Riley Spritchup didn't have a good qualifying result, but here he is, moving up nicely in the 28, currently just outside the top 20 in the 22nd position. But there's Trey Bartle, still stuck by Jacob Boyd and Jack Haas as a mirror for Luca Iger. So right now, Trey Bartle has his hands full in that 3 car, has not made progress in that 25th position, which he got about 5 laps ago. He wants Haas to try and battle with Jacob Boyd, but now he's going to go to the outside right here, so that could be an issue for Trey Bartle, but he's working the outside pretty well on Jack Haas. He might be able to get that spot using the outside. Look at Bartle getting 24th using the outside as the tires start to wear off. There might be some more grip on that outside lane, and Bartle showed it right there, going to the outside, making it work. Lawrence got stepped aside by Mathis Wells. Luke Rennie and Jordan Edwards move by, and now the pack spreads apart as Eli Bright catches Brett Seaver for 7th. Eli Bright, that Dale Earnhardt Incorporated Chevrolet, getting on the Hendrick Motorsport Chevrolet of Sierra. The front 3 tightening up as Evans now gains on the front 2 as they kind of stabilize, but Evans starting to gain. As we're coming around to complete the 24th lap of this race, we're nearing the point where these drivers and teams might want to split this race into thirds. If you complete 24, 25 laps, that's about third distance through this race. So at the moment, if teams want to pit now, they'd be a third of the way done, and they would split their runs into equal portions of about 24, 25 laps each. This could be interesting to see. If anyone further back of the field wants to do it, I think the leaders want to stay out as long as they can in case a yellow possibly comes out. They want to run it out to maybe 32, 33, 34 laps. As Baird gets away because they battled for 5th. Mitchell Collins moving Harrison Reed aside and moving by that number 40 from Team Zabco. 7th and 8th are still single file. Keegan Thompson gaining on that with Matthew Burnett. Mathis Wells to the top 12 getting by the number 6 Colin Teague. Teague under fire from teammate Jordan Edwards, who moves by the 6th car. And now Wells on the back bumper of Higuita for the 11th position. Bardo's made more progress, got by Jacob Boyd, but has a long ways to go to get to Spurley Tube and Noah Clifton. Eli Bright still on the back of Sierra, not making the move. Maybe can't make the move on the 25 at the moment. Reed now in a lonely 6th position as Collins closes back in on 4th place Nathan Baird, and the front 3 still about 5, 6 tenths separate the front 3 positions. Zidell's at every lap so far from pole position, and now having to fend off Chris Jericho as the tires wear out at this very, very old Darlington surface. See how the lap times are falling off as that average speed by the leader's name, by the leader's number, just gets slower and slower as these laps progress. That is the tire wear coming into play here at the Darlington Raceway. The battle for 4th is on. Mitchell Collins got by Aaron Reed, now is closing in on the number 60 Nathan Baird as Collins looks around the outside of the 60 car. Baird trying to protect the inside. Collins going to get a nice run off of turn 4 with his wider arc into the corner. Diamonds off, has a run down the front stretch and might look out to turn 1. That would be the prime passing zone, but Collins has staying behind Nathan Baird for now. No pass made there for that 4th place. I'm shocked he didn't make the pass. I thought he had enough for a run to make it work, but just didn't materialize it. Now Wells up to 11th, got by Higuita. And now, there he goes for 10th on Matthew Burnett. So Mathis Wells was set to start 4th in this race. Failed inspection, but has powered through and remind me so much of Texas earlier in the season, where he failed inspection but ended up winning the race anyway. Wells cracks the top 10. We're not even halfway done here in the Southern 500 at Darlington. The battle for 11th could be shaping up to be a good one. Higuita looking out at Matthew Burnett because the 16 got very slow through the top of 1. And now Jordan Edwards also there in the 97 looking to pick up some scraps in case something happens in front of him. Battle for 7th. Eli Bright going to go to the bottom of 3 and 4, but look how slow they have to go through 3 and 4 because of the tire wear. And Sear might get the better run off turn 4. And we saw with Trey Bardo how well that worked out for him, as now these two are side by side for 7th. Thompson makes it a 3-way race, 7th, 8th, 9th, and Mathis Wells can make it 4 cars. Wells can get to 9th by Sierra. There he goes, 9th place for the 20. And does he possibly want to pit sooner? Try and leapfrog some of these drivers with some tire strategy. That could be the play here, as Collins still can't get by Nathan Bear at all, just like Aaron Reed couldn't. And now Aaron Reed catches back up. So the 60, definitely the slowest of these 3, but doing a really good job protecting off of everyone around him. Higuita might also be backing up some of these Fords back behind him. And Trey Bardo has actually lost some ground as he was kind of catching the cars in front. Now he's back to 24th because Luca Iger got by him. So Bardo back to 24th now in that 3 car. And Wells now in the back bumper of the championship points leader, Keegan Thompson, and looking for that spot. That would be 8th place. As Thompson looks to dive into pit road, we have some early takers. Jericho and Evans will come in early. Zidell stays out, but some early takers to pit road, looking for the tires sooner, looking for the grip sooner. Aaron Reed yields to pit road. Keegan Thompson does. So the championship leader looking to gain some time by an undercut, along with 2nd and 3rd place, Jericho and Conrad Evans. I like this strategy, very aggressive. Don't just do what the leader does. And also, if you get this strategy long, you have another attempt. These drivers and teams know they have another pit stop to do later in this race. They can only make it to about 10 laps to go from here. Other cars coming down include Roger Ray, Zachary DeLello, Noah Clifton, along with Riley Spurley-Tube and some others. Wells stays out near the lap. He'll inherit the lead in the 20 car. So Mathis Wells will lead a lap for 5 bonus points, and he'll be the first driver other than Zidell to lead today. Some others stay out like Higuita and Teague and Lawrence and Rando, and Jericho easily beats Evans on pit road. A great pit stop for that Joe Gibbs Racing pit crew. The 18 did it on pit road. And Wells will come in this time, so 2 laps after the first wave. Does anyone stay out another lap longer is the big question here. I think everyone will have to come down this time. They don't want to push a few more laps here. Bardo, one of the first pit stalls, he'll come off. Looking for the 24 Zidell. As they go around to the left side tires, where is Jericho? Where is Evans? They a lap more. Now, got those fresh tires a lap sooner. And I hear some cars up to speed through 1 and 2. As Zidell, there it is. Jericho's by him easily, and so is Evans. So the 1 lap does it for the 18 and the 31. They get out 1st and 2nd, and Zidell might be in a battle for 3rd. It's not going to be a battle because Aaron Reed's going to be P3 all by himself. So Zidell will come out currently in what is expected to be the 4th position after this all cycles through. Keegan Thompson gained nicely. He might be in the top 5 now. Might be a good ways away from some of the cars he was battling, like the 20 and the others. There's Wells just coming off pit road now. Definitely not going to be near the 5 car because he pitted later than him. Wells is definitely going to lose some spots off that. Higuita led that last lap. But now as it cycles around, it will be Chris Jericho in the lead. Conrad Evans in 2nd. Aaron Reed in 3rd. Justin Zidell in 4th. Keegan Thompson up inside the top 5. Mitchell Collins will now be 6th. 7th place Nathan Baird. Zachary DeLello up to 8th. How about Jordan Edwards to 9th and Eli Bright now 10th. Roger Ray up to 11th. Sierra now 12th. Clifton is now 13th. Burnett 14th. Spurred to 15th. Wells is now 16th. Luke Rainey in 17th. Iger is now 18th. Higuita is further back as Trey Bardo moves to 19th. So the strategy works for Bardo. He gained about 5 spots on pit road. He's now up to 19th inside the top 20, bringing Colin Teague inside the top 20 with him. And now Higuita, who pitted later than anyone, has pitted outside the top 20 from his top 15 spot. And in about Lathan Strickland now. Now with these fresh tires, what are the drivers up towards the front going to do? Obviously, Zidell wants to get by that number 40, Aaron Reed, as quickly as possible because he knows he's the faster car than the 40. He's going to already look out into turns 3 and 4 here, so didn't take long for Zidell to want to get back by Aaron Reed in that number 40. Zidell to P3 by Anderson Reed, but hold your horses. Anderson Reed fights back on the outside of turns 3 and 4. Pulls alongside and pulls ahead, but not quite clear into turns 1 and 2. Zidell slings it to the inside and gets the P3. Evans closed up on Jericho for the lead, but it looks like it opened up through 1 and 2. Jericho maybe just gets away a little bit. Now Thompson's next goal is 4th place Aaron Reed. Collins trying to get up inside the top 5 again. Nathan Baird just kind of holding steady in 7th right now. DeLello and Nathan, all these cars back behind that pit a little bit later. They want to get going, like Mathis Wells, who just got by Riley Spurgeon for the top 15, has to get by some of these cars once again. And Evans closed back up on Jericho. I think the 31 a lot better through 3 and 4 at this stage in the run, and the 18 maybe a little bit better through 1 and 2, but this time Evans a great launch off turn 2. Pulls up under the back bumper, looks to the inside of turns 3 and 4. Evans looks, but the 18 does a nice job protecting it off. Now as they go through 3 and 4, can Evans get the run off 4 again like he has been the last few laps, get back on the 18 of Jericho. They'll look into turns 1 to the prime passing zone for Evans if he wants to make the pass right here. He's going to look to the inside through 1 and 2, trying to get the nose to the inside of the 18 car. He can't get it done. Look from the helicopter cam how much time he loses on exit of turn 2 because Jericho ran wider. Great run for Jericho off turn 2, gets him away from the 31 for now. But Evans is definitely going to be fighting hard to get that lead because track position means so much at a place like Darlington. Now Thompson looks for 4th on Aaron Reed, pulling away from Mitchell Collins back behind. There is going to be a battle for 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th. DeLello, Edwards, Bright, Sierra. Sierra goes for 10th on Eli Bright. He'll look out and go by. So Sierra to 10th by Eli Bright. Jordan Edwards looking on DeLello for 8th because he sees that fast charge in number 25 wants to get by him in his mirror. Coming around to complete the 40th lap of the Southern 500 at Darlington. The pit strategy now going to be wide open as we near the point to where drivers could make it from here on one more stop. Who wants to be the short pitter to try and get the tires and leapfrog, and who wants to stay out long and maybe try and do something like a 2-tire pit stop with about 10 laps to go. It's going to be a fun race to the checker flag from here at Darlington. Meanwhile, the battle for 8th, Jordan Edwards got it from DeLello, but now Sierra wants 8th. DeLello and Eli Brent the outside as Matthew Burnett and Mathis Wells move to the inside. It's a big logjam of cars just outside the top 10, and up front for the lead still Evans chasing Jericho right on his back bumper as they go through 1 and 2 again. The third one looking out in the 18, but no move made. Thompson to 4th, got by Aaron Reed. Now Reed under fire for Mitchell Collins. There's a lot happening around this racetrack, and there's so few cameras to look at what's happening. Edwards in a battle with teammate Matthew Burnett. That's 9th, 10th, 11th because Mathis Wells is also there. Where's Trey Bardo at? Well, he's right behind Luca Iger in front of Colin Teague. That's 18th, 19th, and 20th. So Bardo's made some decent gains, but Keegan Thompson back up inside the top 5 after his short pitch strategy. And Evans still can't get by the 18, but Jericho still can't get away. These two are running just about the same pace. The third one better at one end of the racetrack, the 18 better at the other end. It's all stabilizing out. It was 9/100ths of a second the last 2 laps at the start-finish line. Evans better through 3 and 4 right here. If he can get the run to turn 1, if he has the inside lane in turn 1, he has this pass made. But so far, he's not been able to do it. This might be a chance again through 1 and 2. Can he get the nose? No, he quite can't. Now, as you saw there, lap traffic will come into play for Jericho and Evans. If they've gapped the field by 4 seconds, but they have Jose Mills ahead, and then Stanworth Jr., Brandon Beal, and some others. Kukulon is faded back here, and that Roush racing forward. So it's honestly a shock right there. They're going to catch Jose Mills first, and everyone wants to be the first driver to catch lap traffic, as the gap for the last 4 laps has been under a 10th. 9/100ths, now 8/100ths of a second between the front two. Evans still looking on Jericho, but can't find a way by that number 18 car. Meanwhile, the battle for third between teammates, Zidell still holding off the number 5 for now. Battle for 5th, Aaron Reed holding off Mitchell Collins at the moment. Sierra's up to 6th, Burnett's up to 7th, Wells is up to 8th, Baird is back to 9th, and about Eli Bright, that's 9th and 10th. Edwards now 11th, Ray is now 12th. It's all happening behind the front field positions. It's battles all over this 1.366 mile racetrack. Once again, the gap, 8/100ths of a second for the lead. Here's the battle for 11th. Bright, Baird, Edwards, Ray going at it. Bright will move to 11th. Now Sierra in 7th, has his hands full with Matthew Burnett and Mathis Wells. Collins got the 5th by Reed. Up at the front, still Jericho, who is out in front of the trailing Conrad Evans machine. Oh, here we go. Evans with the run to turn 1. Got the inside lane. That's the place you have to make the move, and there he goes. Evans still leading the Southern 500 at Darlington. Jericho back to 2nd. Now is to try and stay in touch of the 31 car. Eli Bright got to the top 10 right here. Get by that number 60 of Nathan Baird. Jordan Edwards now 11th. And there's Bardo. He's gained on these drivers. Bardo now just inside the top 15 and 16th. Spurred to Clifton, Ray, Baird right in front of him. That's up to 11th place, 12th place, because Jordan Edwards is currently in 11th. There's Anderson Reed just in front of that battle for 7th, with Mathis Wells got by Matthew Burnett to get to 8th. Now he has his sights set on Brett Sierra for 7th place. The 20 car is showing just how strong he is, just as strong as he was early on in this race, in that first run. Obviously, he lost some ground because of his pit strategy, staying out longer. However, he's shown that with those fresh tires, he can still compete. As Jericho's cut back into the lead, that Evans has just a little bit. Evans got out in front with that runoff turn number 4, but Jericho slowly reeling him back in just a touch, lap after lap. Zidell also reeling the battle for the lead in just a little bit, and Thompson's just trying to hold steady in that 4th place and gain points on Trey Bardo, who's looking to make it as just small of a points gain for Thompson as possible. Bardo now has gotten by a few more drivers. Is currently up inside the top 15. He sees cars right in front of him like Roger Ray, Nathan Baird, and Jordan Edwards. That's up to 11th place, and he has cars that are now spread out behind him. So Bardo at this moment now only focus forward for the driver of the 3 car. He sees the top 10 not that far from him. Eli Bright's the top 10. He could definitely be there after the next cycle of pit stops. The question is, will they do the right strategy on pit road? Will they pit at the right time? And will they have any cars slow them up to possibly impact that? Still, this battle for 7th going on. Wells can't get by that 25 of Brett Sierra, who's done a really good job at protecting the spot he's had all race long. That 20 can't find a way around the 25 at this moment in the race, as we have now 24 laps to go in the Southern 500 at Darlington. Collins trying to close in on that battle for 3rd. As meanwhile, Evans sees Jose Mills in front. They're not really gaining that much on the 7 car. Last lap it was about 27.4 seconds from the 7 up to the race leader, the 31. They gained about 2/10 that time. So they're not really running that much faster, to where Mills will be a huge implication in terms of the outcome of this race. However, with more pit stops coming, that could factor into where people end up when they hit pit road and when they come off pit road. Still that battle for 7th, it's 3 cars. Sierra, Wells, Burnett. Battle for 10th, Eli Bright has it at the moment. Trey Bartles got up to 12th from 14th. Just got by the 55 and the 60 both. Roger Ray trying to fend off Luca Iger behind us. The 6 Collins, he got around the 55 as well. But Trey Bartle now sees 11th, Jordan Edwards just in front. And then the next car would be the 10th place car of Eli Bright. So Bardo making nice gains through the field from 42nd on the grid, and could finish very well into the top 10 by the end of this race. Cannot believe that Wells not be able to get by that 25 of Brett Sierra. I thought for sure he'd be able to find a way around at this moment in the race, but just can't find a way around. We're nearing 20 laps to go, so we're nearing points where some drivers might try and start short pitting, right? These drivers can very well go, they know, to 64, 65, lap 66. Then go to about 10 laps to go, give or take a few laps. But some of these teams and drivers might try and gamble and come in as soon as possible. Come in now, come in 15 to go. They might come in a few laps early because they know tires mean so much. You want to get the fresh tires as soon as possible. So who will be the first of the drivers inside the top 10, top 15 to make the move into pit road and make it work is the big question. Collins is closing in on 3rd place Zidell and 4th place Keegan Thompson. So that could be a battle for 3rd, 4th, and 5th at the moment. Still this battle for 7th is going on, and still Bartle's making progress. Got by Jordan Edwards for 11th. Now his next car to get by would be the number 8 of Eli Bright. The gap from the 8 to the 3 car is less than a second. Bartle might get there in the next lap or two. That 3 has been running some pretty good laps, especially the second run of the race has been the better run for the 3 of Trey Bardo. They made some really good adjustments. Obviously, maybe their car was set to run up towards the front, and now he had to start the back, so maybe his car not so good set up for traffic. But now that they've made some adjustments on that 3 car, it's obviously Bardo likes how the car feels, is making some good progress. A 3-time Southern 500 winner might not win one final Southern 500, but will definitely be known as one of the better drives we've seen in the Southern 500. Could be a drive to win the championship if he does end up hoisting the championship trophy at the season's end. Obviously, Thompson looks like at the moment will lead with the points lead and actually extend the points lead, but Bardo will definitely have damage limitation here today at Darlington. Wells still can't find a way around Brett Sierra. Meanwhile, Mitchell Collins looking on Keegan Thompson, who might be looking on Zidell. So 3-way battle right here as Collins now over the back of Keegan Thompson, trying to pressure the 5 into a mistake as they race down the back straightaway. At the front, Jericho can't find a way to close in too much more on Conrad Evans. It's been about 3.5 tenths to 4 tenths the last few laps. And Mills, they're not gaining on Mills much at all. See right there, the gap fluctuates once again as Collins once again pressuring Keegan Thompson to turns 1 and 2. Bardo's up inside the top 10. I think Eli Bright may have pitted. We have some strategy. These drivers are coming early, and I like the call. Look at some of these drivers. Clifton, Luke Rainey, Eli Bright's one of them. There he is. Eli Bright, the first to try, along with Harrison Reed, this strategy of coming in sooner and getting the tires now. Will it pay off is the question. Keegan Thompson is now in to pit road. So a lot of drivers now doing the strategy of, hey, I want to come in now. It looks like Trey Bardo stayed out in the 3-car. No, he came in because he's one of the first pit stalls, but the race leaders are staying out. This could set up nicely for Keegan Thompson. The front 3 are staying out. Keegan Thompson from 4th place was the first car to come in and do this strategy. But how's it going to be for Eli Bright and the others that came in early as well? This is gonna be interesting now. We have some pit strategy to play with. There's Eli Bright leaving. He'll only fall 1 lap down as he gets up to speed. But when Evans and Jericho can go about 4 or 5 more laps, how much longer do they want to go is the question. When do the crews say, enough is enough, I'm coming in now? They're still staying out more laps. They're going to run long and try and get the tires later and try and make it work. I just don't know if that's going to be the strategy to work out. We have a lot of drivers on that strategy. I just don't know if that's going to be the strategy. There's Thompson and Collins. They're leaving. Where's the 8 and the others? There's Harrison Reed. He came in early. He was in 6th place when he came in a lap earlier than these two. He closes the gap to them, but it's not enough. There's Sierra and Wells coming out. Eli Bright did not have a good pit stop at all, as it looks like he did not gain much on the 25 and the 20 and some of the others that looked like he was going to be around. More drivers coming into pit road, but still the front runners stay out. This could very well be about for the lead by the end of this if Evans and Jericho lose enough time, but also these drivers have to worry out for some slower cars that are on some worn tires in front. You can see these drivers trying to find a way around. There's only 8 cars currently on the lead lap. Obviously, those racers want a yellow to come out, but look at Thompson. He got by the 66 in gaps because the 12 and the 40 can't find a way around that number 66. Oh, that's really hurting Collins and Reed right now. That could very well be the bout for the lead by the end of this, and they cannot get by Mitch Corbett, and Thompson is gapping them by tenths every passing second. This is killing Collins and Reed. Oh, here we go. We got some drivers coming to pit road now, so the leaders are in now. Zidell stays out to lead a lap in the 24 car, but Evans and Jericho are the first 2 in. So here we go. Where are they going to come out in relation to Keegan Thompson and some of the front runners? They had a good gap to those drivers. There goes Thompson. There goes the 12. See, the 40 and the others still stuck by the 66. The strategy could play out because the 66 has been a big hindrance to a lot of drivers. Oh, the yellow's out. Caution flag is out. Oh, look at massive carnage in 3 and 4. The 77 and the 4. The 36 as well. Zidell's now on pit road. 31 and 18 are trying to leave as fast as they can. Where is everyone going to come out in this now? Yeah, so where did the 31 and the 18 come out? Do they have to race back to pit road to the start-finish line? Are they under yellow yet? There's the pace car. These drivers have to get back around it. The pace car... So Thompson might have actually benefited from that, and Zidell could very well be the leader in all this. We'll have to see. There he is. Can he get off pit road soon enough? If not, it could be. This is going to be interesting. We'll have to see. There goes Zidell. So I've seen how this all plays out. Where's the pace car? Who's it going to pick up, and who's going to be a lap down? Who's going to be on the lead lap? Who's going to be the leader is the big question. Ryan Wilson coming back into pit road. There's the 3-car Trey Bardo, but looking like it... We'll have to see here who's on the lead lap and who's not. At the moment, it picks up Mathis Wells, but I think Wells could be a lap down or tail end of the lead lap. To see here as he crosses the stripe. Yeah, Mathis Wells' score, tail end of the lead lap. So all these guys back here are tail end. The race leader might cycle out to be Keegan Thompson in all this. See, Keyshawn Richardson also has damage along with Anthony Ness, but yes, the 5 and the 12 are the race leaders. The problem for them is now they have fresh tires right on their bumper. 31, 18, 24 have the fresher tires. How about Mitch Corbett? Just give it to pit road now. He'll cycle on a pretty good position as well. Mitch Corbett will be inside the top 7 or so for this restart, but it's going to be Keegan Thompson with the lead. But let's go see what happened to 8th. Very, very untimely yellow shakes up the running order, and it's going to be all thrown around here at Darlington. This was a massive pack of cars because the 24 of Justin Zeidel was one of the last cars to stay out on the racetrack. He had very, very worn tires and was very slow. This pack very stacked up. Now Zeidel goes down pit road. They're too wide behind. They're all stacking up. Yepez is slowing down. Kukulon does not get the message in time. Runs into the 4, who gets hit into Keyshawn Richardson. Caden Lynn's going to avoid in the 4-2 down to the inside. But this is not the worst of the crash by far. Yepez is now spun around, going to go down the racetrack, and Hagita sees on the inside but closes up. He hits the 4. Evan Hunter comes in, nowhere to go. He hits the 77. Hernandez then goes down and will clobber the 77 as well. So a multiple car incident brings out the yellow flag in the Southern 500 at Darlington. It will now give Keegan Thompson the track position to be the race leader here in the Southern 500. Here's another look. Just Zeidel is coming in and just stacks the whole field up behind him. Yepez, unfortunately, right there, hit hard by the 77. There goes Hernandez, also into the 77. Higuita with a very, very hard hit right there. And that's going to take multiple cars out of the Southern 500 just before the end of it. We're going to have a late race restart, ladies and gentlemen, here at Darlington. It's going to be with Keegan Thompson in car number 5 as the race leader. But Thompson's on some older tires. There are some guys with newer, fresher tires back behind. How will this play out? It's going to be a late race restart here in the Southern 500 at the Darlington Raceway. Lights are out on the Pontiac pace car. We're going back green this time by at Darlington, but the race leader is nowhere near the front of the field. He is one of the last cars in this line because from 38th all the way up to 9th place, they're on the tail end of the lead lap. We only have 8 cars in contention in this line to possibly win this race. They are Keegan Thompson, the current points leader, who looked like he had no shot to win this race. Now he's in prime position. He and Mitchell Collins are on some of the oldest tires of the front 7. Then Conrad Evans and Chris Jericho just came into pit road. They have 0 green flag laps on their tires. They're 3rd and 4th. Zeidel has the freshest tires along with Mitch Corbett. They're 5th and 7th. Ernst Reed, similar strategy to the 5 and the 12. In fact, worse tires. He'll be back in the 6th position. Mitch Corbett, fresh tires in 7th. And then Ryan Wilson, also fresh tires in 8th. They have the lap car of Anthony Hernandez there. Mathis Wells is 9th. Matthew Burnett is 10th. Eli Brett's 11th. Trey Bartle is 12th. Sierra, Teague, all these drivers are on the tail end of the lead lap. They'll be bound for positions for themselves, but the race leaders will be in lap traffic with 7 to go, and it's Keegan Thompson, Mitchell Collins, and other drivers trying to get the win of the Southern 500. Thompson has lucked in this position. Can he do something with it? Evans and Jericho and Zeidel led a good amount of laps today. They have to try and get by Collins and Thompson to win this one. Here we go. We'll take the green flag with 7 to go. Keegan Thompson, the leader, is way back in the pack because all the cars in front of him are tail end. Green flag back in there in the Southern 500 at Darlington. I think Evans laid back a little bit because he knew some guys in front might be slower. Thompson needs to put as many cars in between he and the guys behind as possible. But how can he do that? If he gets stuck up top, he might fall back to 8th place here because they're all going to be lined up. There goes Keyshawn Richardson to the outside of the 99. Thompson looks to get down low on Mills, but Mills will block it off. Now Thompson has to try and protect the bomb at all costs because Collins and Evans and others are going to be charging up to try and get by that 5 car quickly. Keegan Thompson low on Keyshawn Richardson, has some damage from that crash, but Keyshawn powers off the top. Collins looks around the outside of the 5, could give shots to the 31 on the inside. Jericho's going to jump out Evans and might jump out Collins as well. Jericho to 2nd, Zeidel for 3rd now. Now Thompson gets away, but the 18's going to get by the 99 fast here, 6 to go. Zeidel also has to get by Mitch Corbett, going to move up into the top 5. How about Hoskar Motorsports? Corbett was last in qualifying, last in practice. He's now 4th place. Ryan Wilson to 5th for Penny Enterprises. Look at this logjam in front of the leaders. Jericho wants to go on the outside of Thompson. Zeidel's going to say, no, I want to go on the inside here. This could determine who wins the Southern 500 at Darlington. And it's going to be lap traffic to do that. Zeidel is 2nd by Jericho. Jericho trying to keep 3rd for Mitch Corbett. Zeidel looking for a way around his teammate Keegan Thompson because Zeidel also trying to gain points on Keegan in terms of the championship. Corbett for 3rd. Evans back for 4th, as it's a logjam in front of the leaders. They have nowhere to go. 4 to go. And honestly, if you're Thompson, you want to try and stay side by side with someone because you know Zaidel might probably not going to force it down low 3 wide. Front 2 get clear of traffic. Now 3rd place is clear of traffic. Conrad Evans will get clear of traffic. Mitchell Collins trying to get by Chris Jericho. That would be for 5th. Few cars break away. Thompson still in thick lap traffic, and Zaidel and Corbett with fresher tires are right behind. Zaidel is looking out on Thompson, looking for a way by, but Thompson will go to the inside first. Thompson gets by Jose Mills. Zaidel also by the 7 car, along with the 66. This time by 2 to go in the Southern 500 at Darlington. Oh, it's a mess in front of the leaders. I mean, where can you go to get by as smoothly as possible? And how can Zaidel find a way around Keegan Thompson if there's always a car to the 5s outside? You don't want to make it 3 wide at a place like Darlington. Corvette's going to go look around the outside, go with his teammate Nolan Lawrence. Look at Ruiz try and cut down in front of the number 5. Zaidel and Thompson, they get away. Evans for 3rd, but now it's only a 2-car race. Thompson leads Zaidel back around to the white flag this time by in the Southern 500 at Darlington. Zaidel on fresher tires than Thompson, looking for a way by that number 5 car. Off for the race. White flag in the air, last lap at Darlington. Zaidel's going to step out into turn 1 on Keegan Thompson. There he goes, he's by. Zaidel's in the lead easily by Thompson, who fades back massively on the worn tires. Down the backstretch for the final time for Justin Zaidel. Started on pole, led early on in this race, but then faded back to around 3rd or 4th place. But the strategy plays out perfectly for Zaidel, and he gets by teammate Thompson with the last lap pass. Justin Zaidel will win the Southern 500 at Darlington, his 3rd win of the season. A topsy-turvy ending for sure, but it's the number 24 of Justin Zaidel finding victory in the Southern 500 at Darlington. Another win. 2 of the last 3 have gone to number 24. Both of those wins came from pole position. What a run for Justin Zaidel here today at Darlington. Led a lot of laps early on, but then got it stolen from him, but then got it back with the right pit call, staying out longer, and it got him the track position, got him the fresh tires when he needed it the most. Justin Zaidel is the Southern 500 winner in the 2000 NASCAR Winston Cup Series season. Let's look at the finish results, and obviously this one, a big turning point in the championship, as number 24 of Justin Zaidel wins this one. He'll gain points on both Thompson and Bardo and could close in with a shot in the final 5 races. Thompson gets a gutsy 2nd place finish. Well, it looked like he was going to get, at best, maybe 3rd or 4th. They played the right strategy, and it gets him 2nd place. Conrad Evans will end up in 3rd today. Pretty good strategy for him, just wasn't there at the end. Mitch Corbett, really good run in 4th place for that Haas Car Motorsports driver. Played the right strategy, worked out for him along with Ryan Wilson. Top 5, unexpected top 5s from Corbett and Wilson. You love to see that at place like Darlington. Mitchell Collins ends up in 6th place today. Harrison Reed in 7th. Chris Jericho in 8th. Those were the cars in it to win it at the end. And then the cars that were on the tail end of the lead lap. Wells ends up in 9th from 41st on the grid. Matthew Brennan ends up in 10th. Trey Bardo gets an 11th place finish. He actually passed Brett Seaver and some others there towards the end. So Bardo trying to minimize the points lost to Keegan Thompson, but Keegan will obviously still pull away. Sierra in 12th, Colin Teague 13th, Luke Brady 14th, Luca Iger top 15 for that AJ Foyt racing car. Nathan Baird started well in this race, hung around the top 20 all race long, was top 10 for a good portion, 16th place there. Randall Chung, Edwards, and Spurgeon were the top 20. Eli Bright disappointing 21st after running really well all race long. Look down, Roger Ray ends up in 23rd. Kukulan 27th. Stout started poorly. He ends up in 28th. Looking further down, DeLobo's running well, but 31st for him. Cars a lap down. Ruiz, Mills, along with Davis, Lawrence, Strickland, Hernandez, and Richardson. And then cars out. Evan Hunter, Sergio Guita, and Diego Pez, all from the multi-car crash in turns 3 and 4 here at Darlington. But what an intense race it was, and what an intense race for the points contenders. If you look right here, Keegan Thompson, Trey Bardo still 1-2 on points, but the gap has opened up. But Bardo did a really good job minimizing the points lost. Zaidel closes in just a little bit in the 24. Evans still trying to hang tough. Sierra loses a lot. So at the moment, could be about 3 cars for the championship. If Zaidel can keep closing in, he has 5 races trying to make something work in the 24. A good ways back of that points lead, but anything is possible for sure under this system. So those final 5 races, obviously, they'll be crazy ones, but we're going to take just a little bit of a break before we get there. One final off week in the NASCAR Winston Cup Series season, but after that, we are back in action with the second race of the season at Martinsville. It's the Napa Auto Care 500, and it kicks off the 5-race run for the championship between Keegan Thompson, Trey Bartle, and maybe Justin Zeidel also included in that. We'll have to see after Martinsville if Zeidel can close in more. He got his 3rd win this season, getting by his teammate Keegan Thompson in the last lap. Zeidel wins the Southern 500 at Darlington. Thanks everyone for watching JRTV's presentation of the NASCAR Winston Cup Series Southern 500 at Darlington. Congratulations once again to Justin Zeidel on winning today. We'll see you guys next time for Martinsville.